Welcome back to Wolf Dog Empire. Today we're gonna go over the overview of the Mighty Pets. We'll start off with Ferdinand. All right, so he's a cleric class. The Mighty Pet family bonus: if you have one, two, or three unique heroes, minions for this hero inherit a +2 or +3 or +4% extra attack. Minions for this hero inherit +2, +3, +4% extra health. Fiends for this hero absorb -2, -3, -4% less max health. Fiends for this hero inherit -2, -3, -4 less attack. And event hero bonus: the member of this family have additional perks in the Mighty Pets event. Passive: when a minion is summoned to any ally, this character gains 5% health and 5% mana. This effect can activate only once per turn. So that's good because there's a lot of minion producers out there like Holda, like Freya and Custom Freya. And so when you have these minions passed out to everyone, this Mighty Pets family seems to uh, be better with the minions and take a little less attack from fiends. When a fiend is summoned to any enemy, this character deals 85% damage to all enemies. This effect can activate only once per turn. Wow, that's even extra damage. You already throw fiends at the enemy with Viscaro, with Lubu. So you throw fiends at them, and then Ferdinand is gonna deal an extra 85% damage to all the enemies. That's, I mean, just extra hits. That's pretty good. The stats: 782 attack is good. 828 defense is really good. 1462 health is really good. Mana speed average. Cleanses the status ailments from all allies. That's really good. All allies get plus 63% defense for 4 turns. That's good. All allies share receive damage with each other for 4 turns. Okay. All allies reflect status ailments and negative stacks for 4 turns. And all allies regenerate 732 HP over 4 turns. So he doesn't give his own attack to be added to this extra 85%. He's like a 5-star Kailani, right? So the Kailani is a 3-star. He's like a 5-star Kailani that also gives the status ailments cleansing and regenerates HP. And of course, he's got passives and a different family bonus. I'm not completely in love with this hero, this 5-star. Most mainly because I already know of how to counter. I have counters for this in my roster. Not everybody has those counters, so somebody might see this and be like, "Wow, that's pretty good." That's like a, with this share, Kailani and Gunner kind of do this shared damage and plus defense. Well, Kailani probably does what, plus attack, but Gunner does a plus defense. So I guess we'll say he's like a 5-star Gunner in yellow, but that does those extra things like cleanses and regenerates and reflects status ailments. But so how do you counter Ferdinand? Number one, I will say for the whales out there, they're not gonna really use Ferdinand. So the people who will summon 60 to 100 to try to get the Alfricas, to try to get the Xenofolds, to try to get the Kufus, to try to like those people who summons a lot. I don't see them using Ferdinand. They're not going to use him on defense. They're not going to level them up and use them on offense that often. And but cheap to play, free to play. If this is one of your few 5 stars, absolutely, you have to level them up and use them in wars, in raid tournaments. You got to use your 5 stars. If you don't have that many, you have to use them. They are strong. Look at this. 828 defense. He's not gonna die that quickly. 1462 HP. He's not gonna die that quickly. But the whales are not gonna be sitting there going, "Oh my goodness, Ferdinand, he's so good." No. But if somebody does have Ferdinand out there, what's one way you can kind of counter this? I kind of try not to tell too many people, just because I have that counter, and so I kind of encourage the enemy to use this type of defense, and then I can just counter it. So you think he's gonna be hard to beat because he's gonna give shared damage to everyone, so it's gonna be hard to kill anyone, and he's gonna give the plus 63% defense for 4 turns to everyone, so that's gonna be making him even harder to kill. But what you could just do is just throw a Wilbur out there and save Wilbur whenever Ferdinand goes off. Then you throw your Wilbur, which makes they will continue to do short damage, but now they're going to have the negative defensive down from Wilbur instead of the positive defensive up from Ferdinand. So that's going to lower their defense big time. And then I have 2 costume Finleys in my roster. My first costume Finley is completely maxed out, and the other one I have base Finley high enough to where I can put him in war against Ferdinand. There, I would use a Wilbur, and I would use my 2 Finleys. Finley, what's so special about Finley in this case? Shared damage, shared damage here by Ferdinand is considered a buff, and so Finley, custom Finley will hit. If he hits one with buffs, he'll keep hitting all the enemies one by one that have buffs. As long as the first one that Finley hits has buffs. So basically he'll hit every single one. And that's after, if you go off with Wilbur first, it's gonna have a big defensive down, and then custom Finley's gonna hit all of them. And then you go off with your second custom Finley, and each time or just even one, just try to set off the blues and kind of go off with your Finleys. Or if you think you might get lucky and you might get a lot of blues at one point, then you can just set off both Finleys out there. And you can even send a Frida out there for the elemental defensive down, but you don't have to. So that's one way to counter Ferdinand. I don't like this hero that much, but if you're free to play, cheap to play, and you pull him, he's a 5-star, you're gonna be happy. Chomper, I like this guy better. So he's a paladin class who's gonna get that extra defense. We already went over the Mighty Pet Family bonuses. The passive: when a minion is summoned to any ally, this character gains 5% health and 5% mana. This effect can activate only once per turn. So throw them in with your Holdas, throw them in with your Freyas, those minion makers. When a fiend is summoned to any enemy, this character deals 85% damage to all enemies. This effect can activate only once per turn. Now, Ferdinand had this, but Ferdinand doesn't apply any damage. So this 85% damage to all is the damage that Ferdinand would do. But Chomper, 809 attack is really good. 821 defense is really good. 1421 health is really good. Mana speed average. And he deals 330% damage to the target and nearby enemies. So he's going to hit 3. Wow, and he's going to hit all 3 just as hard as the first one. That's pretty good. I mean, compare that to Quinnell. She hits 320. She's fast, so she's going to go off faster than Chomper. But that's just to kind of give you an idea of the damage. And then Chomper, remember this passive, when a fiend is summoned to any enemy, he's going to throw an extra 85% damage. I know Quinnell, after she goes off the first time, then she's got a buff there that gives her that plus 40% each time for 4 turns. But if you can put some fiend dealers along with Chomper like Viscaro or Lubu, then he's going to deal even more damage than he normally would deal. He heals each ally with 40% of the total damage dealt. Wow. Remember, he's hitting 3. Each one for more than 2,000 damage. And there's 3 max that he can hit. And now you're going to heal each ally with 40% of damage dealt. That's really good. Chomper's a really good hero. The target and nearby enemies receive 352 bleed damage over 4 turns, and that's not even needed. That's just on top of that. That's really good. Yeah, I'm not gonna chase Chomper, but if you get him, be really happy. If I get him, I'll be really happy, but I'm not gonna chase. But he's really good. Hachiko. We went over the Mighty Pet Family bonuses. Passive, when the minion is summoned to any ally, he gets 5% health and 5% mana. And the passive, when a fiend is summoned to any enemy, he's going to deal 85% damage to all enemies. The stats, 838 attack is really good. 768 defense is good. But a lot of these newer heroes are coming up with the 800 defense. So it's a little lower than the new ones, but if you compare this to like season 1, season 2, this is good defense. 1452 health is pretty good. Mana speed average. He deals 270% damage to all enemies. That's really good. All allies counterattack with 80% of the damage received for 4 turns. That's really good. The counterattack damage increases by plus 20% each turn, up to plus 140%. Wow, that's really good. One thing I do say about counterattack is there are some counterattackers like Boral from season 1, Cyprian from season 1, where a lot of people kind of thought that they were starting to become irrelevant. They got their costumes, which do hit all, but the percentage went really low. And so people thought maybe they're not going to be that good. But then as these newer heroes, and I said this before, these newer heroes, they come up with higher attack. And they do area of attack. So they'll do up to 3, and some hit all. So these counterattacks are a really good counter for the hit alls. I mean, you got people like Khufu who are, I mean, if you have all your heroes are alive, Khufu's going to hit every single one of them. So these counterattacks are going to be are a lot better than they were back then when they first came out. As the enemies that hit you hit harder than before, like Anne, Khufu, these people that hit super super hard, they're going to hit that counterattack, and it's actually going to end up killing them in some cases. So all allies get plus 50% critical chance for 4 turns. Oh, that's really good. Yeah, Hachiko's really good. I hope I get him. Not gonna chase, but I hope I get him. Toto, he's Druid class. We went over that pet family bonus. The passive where if the ally gets a minion, then he gets a 5% health and 5% mana. It's a little bit of, but every little bit of it helps. And when a fiend is summoned to any enemy, then he'll deal 85% damage to all enemies. That's pretty good. 795 attack is pretty good. 826 defense is really good. 1437 health is really good. He is mana speed slow. So right away you think Rush Wars. He recovers 45% health for all allies. He summons a brown, so I mean 45% health is really good. Summons a brown puppy minion for each ally with 35% HP and 55% attack inherited from the caster. All allies reduce or receive damage from the attacks and special skills of the stronger element by minus 80% for 5 turns. So when you have Toto on defense, then when the opponent who is trying to attack you, if they try to bring in the stronger element against green, which is red, then this is going to apply here. All allies reduce or receive damage from the attacks and special skills on the stronger element by minus 80% for 5 turns. So he's got a little extra going on for when he's on defense. Slow, recovers 45%. He summons the minions. So when you look at the passives that a lot of these mighty pet heroes have with the when a minion is summoned to any ally and then they gain a little bit of health, a little bit of mana. So Toto is one of the ones from this specific family to take advantage of this family bonus who gives out the minions. And because he's mana speed slow, then in the Rush Wars, he's going to be pretty good also. Toto's good. I mean, if I get him, I'll be pretty happy. And I don't have a lot of healers in green. I actually had 0 5-star healers in green. I do have some 4 stars and of course 3 stars, but in 5 stars green, I had 0. So in the Fated Summons, I picked up Radasuker green healer, and I picked up Tarlak green 5-star, who does a little bit of regenerating healing. And if you think that the next contest of elements is going to be green, because the yellow one already passed, if you think the next one's going to be green and you need healers, because green has a lot of healers that do a little bit of healing on the end. They have like Tarlak, who does a little bit of regenerative healing. There's a lot of green 5-stars that they have a normal special skill and they do a little bit of healing on the side. Like Tarlak does very little healing on the side. So Toto is going to be one of the few green 5-stars that actually does a full amount of healing, and it's a lot. I mean, the percentage healers, they'll do like 40 to 42%, and that was considered pretty good. This guy's doing 45. I know he's mana speed slow, but in the Rush Wars, this guy's going to be pretty good too. And I do want him because, like I said, I didn't have a lot of green healers. Now I just have Radasuker in 5-star. Tarlak, if you consider him with a small little regen of HP, okay. Well, that's only 2. Bubbles, Barbarian class. There's the Mighty Pet family. The passive with the minion gets the +5 health and +5 mana. The passive when there's a fiend that you give to the enemy, then this character is going to give it 85% damage to all enemies. So that's always good. The attack 828 is really good. 788 defense is good. 1437 defense is pretty good. Mana speed fast. Wow. That is really good to get all those great stats and to be fast. And he's got some good passives, and you can put some minion dealers and fiend dealers along with him here. And Bubbles deals 480% damage to the target. The target gets minus 44% defense for 4 turns. Wow, that's pretty good. That's a large defensive down. It is only to the target, but if you don't have a good blue defensive down in 5-star, Bubbles can help you out against Titans. The target automatically casts Shifting Mindless Attack on a random ally when mana is full at the start of a turn during 4 turns. Wow. When this effect is triggered, it shifts to the hit ally and the duration is refreshed. What? I want to see this in gameplay. I don't have beta, so it's not something I could have tested, but I would like to see. So when I do find somebody, one of these whales that's able to summon the 5-star, which I have not been able to summon some of these event 5-stars lately. One of these whales pulls Bubbles and throws all those trainer heroes at him and basically maxes out Bubbles like in less than a week. I would definitely fight them and get beat up so that we can all see what Bubbles can do. That this is pretty good. Bubbles is a really good hero, and I am lower in blue 5-star than I am in other colors, but I did get Tethys just a few weeks ago, so that was really good. That helped me out big time. I did get 2 King Arthurs, so that helped out big time also. I did get a costume Ariel recently, so that kind of has helped me. I now have 16 blue 5-stars, because back then I think I only had like 12 or less. So blue was the one I had the least 5-stars in. Now it looks like it's red. I think blue I just passed them because I just picked up all those 5-stars. What is that? 4 5-stars? 4. I picked up like 4 blue 5-stars in, I want to say, like 3 or 4 weeks. Then very lately, I haven't, ever since I picked up Costume Freya and Costume Jabberwock, I haven't picked up any more of these 5-stars other than the Hero of the Month. I did pick up 2 Hero of the Month within just a few hours of the portal opening. Okay, so those are the 5-stars from the pet family. They are pretty good. Don't forget to subscribe. It does help me out a lot, and it's free. It only takes a few seconds. I do really appreciate that. And give the video a like. Share it with your Alliance members. That way you don't have to type out all this information in the chat. Just let them know that the video is out here with an overview, so that you guys can all get the information. And until next time, Wolf Dog Empires.